It's been a minute, but this is what's happening at the tavern. Okay, so where have I been? What have I been doing? Well, I've been working on over the last month on what is probably the largest single voiceover gig that I've done in terms of video game work. I've worked on audiobooks and I've worked on long form narration that have taken some time to get done, but yeah, this is probably the largest video game gig that I've worked on, and I'm going to be really excited to tell you more about it when I can. It's funny though, there's this voice in the back of my head while I've been working on this that's been telling me, hey Kevin, you haven't been working on your own stuff. You haven't been working on your Alexa work. And I have to remind myself that all of this, everything I'm doing is in service of getting more voiceover work. It's all about doing what I've been doing over the last month. And so I've kind of been trying to just get that voice to chill a little bit. But yeah, I'm going to be really excited to share more about that gig when I can. I'm proud of the work that I've done, and I think it's going to be a really exciting thing to talk more about. So what am I doing at the moment? Now that I'm on the other side of that gig, I sat down and this is going to get a little bit inside baseball, but I sat down and I started planning out what I'm going to be doing for the next month, because I'm a big fan of Getting Things Done by Dave Allen, and I'm a big fan of Accidental Creative and its practice of setting checkpoints, weekly, monthly, and quarterly checkpoints. And I feel like I've gotten into a habit of, whenever I reach like a line in the sand, of sitting down and doing a quarterly checkpoint, because you get to plan out all of this stuff, and it's this chance to reinvent yourself. And I feel like it's a ritual that's almost in service of itself rather than being in service of the work. And so I thought, no, well, hang on, let's just figure out what are the things that I really want to be doing for the next month. And so the theme for May is going to be, for me, money. It's going to be reevaluating and reworking my relationship with money, making sure that the practices that I have in place make the most sense, looking at ways that I could be, is there any way that I'm spending my money that doesn't serve me, for example, and starting from like a foundational level, like just my attitude, my relationship to money, and the thoughts that I have around it. There's a really great book I'm reading at the moment called You Are a Badass at Making Money. And it's dealing with things at that foundational level, because I feel like dealing with anything above that, dealing with sort of the day-to-day practices, without dealing with that first, just kind of putting the cart before the horse. And so I'll put a link to the book in the description for the video as well. It's not for everyone, but I'm really digging it and I'm finding it really useful. I've been exploring my love of poetry more. Like I've worked with poetry, I've worked with text as part of my voiceover training for years, but I've kind of been trying to branch out more on my own. Hang on, let me start that again in English. I've been trying to branch out more, just as part of day-to-day stuff, just trying to find text that fills me with joy, playing with it more, especially on stream as well. And so yeah, I've been doing more of that, and I've been really enjoying it. It's been really fulfilling, because words are the cornerstone of what I do. The text, the difference between two individual words, the subtle nuance there is that's what informs what we do. And so I've been loving that. I might see if I can pop a few links from just the stuff that I've been doing on stream, along with this video as well. I'm just going to rescue my key light there before it falls off the back of the monitor. The blue tack has decided not to stick very well anymore. So sorry for reaching off camera there, but otherwise we were going to get a big crash at some point in time. And no one wants that. What else has been going on? I'm also starting to plan out some video content. Now this is going to be, I'm mentioning this now, it's going to be a while coming. but I'm in the early stages of starting to put together some video content talking about stuff. It's going to be thematically linked to some of the skills that I'm working on, as long-term projects. So I'm looking forward to being able to talk about that a little bit more down the track. But yeah, that's going to bear some fruit in a while. It's going to take a while to sort of come to fruition. Let's see, other than that, I attended the voiceover summit in February, and that has been a real game changer. One of the first things that I've done following up from that has been I picked up a voice draw pack. There's an incredible Australian distributor that significantly changes the price of picking up one of those. And I've been using Strawfination and a custom warm-up that I got from Mindy Pack, and that has been an incredible game changer. It's hard to express. It's hard to express the difference this makes, but sessions, for example, where you're doing efforts and exertions, where you're doing grunts and yells and stuff like that, all of the combat stuff, all of that, when you're doing that at full volume, when you're projecting, that gets really stressful. It gets really stressful on your voice. And the gig that I've been doing over the last month is a character in a lower register with a bit more of a gravelly voice. Using Strawfination, using the voice draw, not only gets me warmed up and calibrated in a way that adds so much more richness to the voice when I start recording, but it's so easy to recenter it. It's so easy just to use it to kind of dial back in once I start getting fatigued in a session. It's incredible. It really is. I feel like I can hear the cultishness in my voice when I talk about it, and that was kind of the reaction I had to people talking about it initially. And part of the reason why I listened is it was incredible people like Sissy Jones who were talking about it. When Sissy Jones tells you something, you shut up and listen. So that was the reason why I tamped down that reaction. I'm like, what am I hearing? This doesn't sound quite right. But no, you figure, well, it's coming from a trusted source. And yeah, it's just incredible. It's just incredible. I cannot recommend it enough. So I'm going to pop a link to that in the video description as well. But yeah, that's where I'm at the moment. So I've planned out what I've got on my slate for May. So the biggest thing that I'm going to be doing on my time is going to be looking at my relationship with money. I also have some consulting work that I'm doing that I can't really talk about. And there's probably not going to be a point in time where I can, but I wanted to mention it because I feel like when there's stretches of time when I don't touch my own things, why not? What am I doing? Do they not matter to me? No, they absolutely do. And I'm so excited to get back to world building and to get back to more Alexa development and sound design. I've been doing some work on the work that I've done earlier this year, or research around sound design. I've been loving that. And I cannot wait to be able to sit down and play with sound design, especially in a sci-fi setting, but it's just not the highest priority at the moment. So I just wanted to mention that briefly. So yeah, doing some consultancy work, looking at my relationship with money, and setting, I think, a really valuable foundation. And I guess just the one thing I wanted to talk about there, how are we going for time? We're 8 minutes in. We're not doing too bad. Yeah, it's funny. I've always put creativity and my practice when it comes to training and everything else ahead of money. But I feel like now is a point in time where, because of some things that are happening, now I'm starting to seriously look at that relationship with money as being equally important, because that enables all the rest of the things as well. All of those delicious creative things that I love to do. The more money that comes in the door from doing the things that I love, then the more that frees me up to be able to do those things. So that's where I'm at. I hope you're having a wonderful week. I would love to hear what's happening in your neck of the woods. I will hopefully be back next week. Things are a little bit less hectic at the moment, a little bit less full on. And either way, be well, be safe. Life is still a lot out there at the moment. There's a lot going on. And I'd love to hear from you about what's happening in your neck of the woods. Talk to you again soon.